I had become a recent follower of the Facebook group Philly Contractors Reviews and Recommendations. Everything had gone south weeks earlier with the home advisor fiasco regarding the visit from the guy Mike, who you will recall from my previous clip never so much as uttered a word in follow-up regarding my heater, putting me back to square one and still in need of a boiler guy to replace it. I figured Facebook groups were a logical next choice. By Sunday, October 24th, I had completed the 3-minute commercial on my YouTube channel about searching for a boiler fix-it guy. I decided I'd post that clip on the Philly Contractor Reviews and Recommendations group. By late that evening of October 24th, I had received several responses. I decided I would contact 2 of them who had supplied their name and number. The first was named Jeff Williams. I was only able to leave him a voicemail message stating what my call was in regards to. The second was Mark Oga, who picked up when I called him. I told him what my call had been in regards to. I was somewhat surprised that I had to remind him about my post and that he had responded to it. But I was encouraged by the fact that he seemed available to come to my house the very next day. I was pleasantly encouraged by that. We ended the call after a short duration, but continued to text each other into the later evening. Again, I was taken aback by his text asking me to describe the issue I was having with my boiler. After all, I had posted a 3-minute clip explaining all of that. So I ended up sending him a link to the clip, and he confirmed he watched it all. He again said by the next afternoon he would come by. He even said he would do some cleaning of the boiler, which I took to mean going into the belly of the boiler to clean out whatever debris might be causing obstruction. At this point, I would ask that viewers pay close attention to some of the details I am including, because this is, in essence, my review of Mark Oga, what my response to his visit was, and why I have concluded the things I am. In that commercial clip I did, the same one he said he watched, I clearly stated that contractor interaction and review will be included whenever and wherever possible. So he was aware of that before anything else. In one of my texts, I asked him how much I should have ready for his visit to my house on Monday, October 25th. He said such visits usually range from between $150 to $250, which I thought was odd, because instead of stating a set fee, he was describing a range. After giving it some thought, I told him I would agree to pay him $250 for his visit, which I based on 2 factors. Number 1, he was coming the very next day, which was good news for me, regardless of the outcome. Secondly, he spoke about performing some sort of cleaning as well, which I assumed involved going inside the boiler and removing debris, which turned out to be an erroneous assumption on my part. On the afternoon of Monday, October 25th, he showed up. He and a colleague of his. His entire visit lasted not longer than 15 to 20 minutes at the maximum. He looked the boiler over thoroughly. That much he did do well, as far as taking a look at the situation. It was then that I found out the cleaning he spoke of consisted of little more than taking some sort of abrasive pad and rubbing it around the thermocouple apparatus. So much for the deep cleaning inside the belly of the boiler I thought would take place. But that was my bad. He looked around for a button to push, which is supposed to be held open so the boiler can fire up when a flame is set upon the pilot assembly. He also noted that he smelled no gas, which would have indicated that gas was reaching the boiler at that critical moment. Needless to say, nothing happened. Nothing at all. His quick conclusion was to recommend I seek the special order of a thermocouple apparatus, which he said should be possible at a plumbing supply store, without, mind you, recommending any specific plumbing supply stores in the area. Should that not remedy the situation, he said then he would recommend I get the entire boiler replaced. I asked about how much it would be for a new boiler. That was when something I thought was interesting occurred. He pulled out his phone, both he and his colleague. They both began Googling house boiler costs, which I am sure someone without any experience in shopping for a boiler could do. What I was expecting to hear him say was, given my modest house size, you may want to consider such and such model type, which are sold at local supply store so-and-so. But to just be Googling house boiler costs was a bit surprising, to say the least. He showed me a few options his search result yielded, some of which were as low as $1,300. With that, I paid him the promised $250, and he was gone as quickly as he arrived. No more than 1 minute following his departure did it dawn on me what just took place. I had allowed myself to be in consideration of seeking out a replacement part for my existing boiler, which was not supposed to be on the table. By then, Mark Oga had already driven off, but he did say he would be available to do replacement boiler work in the future should I opt to go that route. And after all, he had always responded to my calls and text messages up until that point. So I called him right after he left. The call went straight to voicemail. When I attempted to leave him a message, I received the automatic notification that the mailbox was full and unable to take any more messages. So I quickly texted him the following message. Mr. Mark Oga, this is Ricky Brooks. I just tried calling. Couldn't leave a message due to your full mailbox. I have changed my mind. Even if I am able to get this boiler running again, I have no idea what the life expectancy is. with the prices you mentioned for a new one. I would rather do that instead. Give me a call when you can so we can discuss what's next. Did you ever meet someone, and after you meet them, somehow you are left with a sneaky suspicion you are never going to hear back from that person again? That was not the case with Mark Oga. Eventually, I did hear back from him again, but it was not in response to my text message or even a call back. Interesting enough, it was not until much later, as in days later, when I happened to revisit my posting on the Philly Contractor Reviews and Recommendations Facebook group. Had I not thought to look there again, I never would have known that he contacted me in any way. Something else I did not think about until relaying the incident to my cousin, who remarked, "What kind of business professional has a full mailbox which does not receive voicemail messages?" Good point, cuz. What Mark Oga said in his Facebook post to me was, "Hey man, sorry we couldn't get it fixed for you today, but it just needs to be replaced. It's very old and everything is very rusted. But if you decide to get a new one, give me a call and we can install it for you. I'm very fine with you giving me a review. And if you can give me a good rating on Facebook, it'll be greatly appreciated." To this Facebook posting, I would say, I do have certain requirements when it comes to any contractor I interact with. I need you to be able to respond to my calls or text messages. This is my bare minimal bar. If for whatever reason you are unable to do that, and I am left with the option to provide you with a choice between a set and an unset, then sorry, dude. There is no way I can give you a set, because that is where my line is. I notice you do a lot of posting on the Facebook group. You're like all over the place, everywhere I look. Surely this review is less than a drop in the bucket as far as your overall business opportunities go. You were at my house on Monday, and by the following Monday, I had found a boiler tech to replace and install the one I had. But I would encourage you to keep at least some of the things I am saying in mind for future use. Who knows? Perhaps they will lead to more positive reviews from now on.